It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, underway for another hour. Thank you for being with us this Monday edition, November 10. You know, I failed to deliver a lot of the pleasantries at the beginning of the show. We got ahead of ourselves, started talking about content matters, and I failed to tell you where you can listen, where you can watch, the number of the episode. I failed in a lot of different ways, so let's try to catch up on
felony.
that. Fourth felony?
Yep.
I don't know that that's felony. I feel like that's a misdemeanor that happens like once a week, or maybe
Ken,
even
what do
more
you
than once a
think?
week. Ken just does the news, Jackson.
I just do the news, boys.
That's exactly right. By the way, there's a lot of, speaking of news, a lot of snowfall. I mean, a lot of snowfall. Maybe that's speaking. That's a little too much. It's snowing.
I'll put it to you this way. There's too much. How about that?
I mean, I'm looking at the old radar, and if y'all are watching on top, I mean, look at the radar. It's like Nashville's a little donut, and it's a blue donut, and we're the center of the donut. But everywhere around us, hey Ken,
yes sir.
Don't you live down there in Murfreesboro?
I do.
It's snowing.
I know.
It's snowing in Murfreesboro.
It was
Ken.
earlier today too.
Oh goodness me! I mean normally we talk about it snowing on the plateau.
Yeah.
Well, this is not even on the plateau. This is everywhere.
We're a long way from the plateau.
Are we the plateau now?
Huh?
Are we the plateau now?
No, we're not even the plateau, Jackson. I can't imagine what the hell it's doing on the plateau. If it's snowing here, all hell's breaking loose on the plateau. That's what I'm saying.
I want to be like Chris Farley in that Saturday Night Live skit it was for Hibernal, where he drank a big old jug of what looked like NyQuil, and it just put him out.
And he just slept through the entire winter.
Yes.
Yeah. And he woke up, he had all the long hair, and his kids ran into the bedroom. Daddy. Like, hey, kids, what's been going on since I've been asleep? Hibernal. Ken, it's not too bad. This is my least favorite time of year. Well, this and summertime because of the real feels crap.
Yeah.
Because that's all we talk about.
Yeah, you don't like that real feels
Heat
stuff.
index and real feels. I can't stand the real feels. The temperature.
Want to see if it's changed?
No, the temperature. No, I don't.
What's the Celsius temperature?
The temperature is what the temperature is. And then just tell me what the temperature is and tell me if it's going to be a little bit windy, and then I can figure the rest out for myself. Thank you. I mean, don't tell me how to feel about it. The real feels. Shut up.
Now, if you're...
Just be quiet.
If
Not
you're in
you.
the wind...
Yeah, it's going to feel different. Yeah, we get it. Yeah, if it's humid outside, it's hotter. We get it. Just tell me what the temperature is. I mean, I feel like they do it to freak you out, okay? That's all I'm saying. And y'all can support it, and that's fine, and you can get into it, and that's fine. Well, it's 32, but it feels like it's 23. Okay.
I think it should just be 23 at that point.
But it's not 23,
But
Jason.
it feels like what is the difference to me if it feels like 23?
Well, let's just all smoke a doob and say, oh, red is really green, man, because it's all perception.
Well, I'm kind of along with Jackson's line of thinking here. Is there some sort of thermometer out there that can measure the feels like?
Well, that's what they do, right?
There's the regular thermometer.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the feels like thermometer.
Right. That's the calculation between the wind and what the scientists claim the wind will do blowing at a particular mile per hour to impact the temperature in a negative way.
But if it feels like that way,
right?
Why do I care if it's actually the atmospheric temperature is 34 if it feels like 23?
Right.
I don't care.
So,
it's cold as hell.
Here's the thing, though. You're telling me how it feels to me.
Yeah.
Well, what about if it doesn't feel that way to me? What if it feels 26 to me?
Are you saying you're a weather denier? Because that's a dangerous precedent you're setting here, bud.
What I'm saying is what it might feel like to me might be a little different than what it feels like to you. And that's not a scientific constant.
Yeah. Brother Murphy doesn't like for people telling him what he should do.
That's exactly.
That's
Speaking of
or
that,
how I should feel about anything.
Mike from Old Hickory's on line one.
Oh, that's fun.
That's early.
It is early for Mike. What's he want to talk about? The failures of the Democrats and the government shutdown?
Sure, go with that.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Hey, on Jackson's approval and on his advice, Mike, we're taking your call right now on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, by the way, Mike, before you start talking, find us on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeart, our app. Supertalk 99.7 WTN. You can also find us on Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. If you're over there on Talk TV, give us the like, give us the subscribe. Tell me what you think of my hat, which I wore in honor of Ken Weaver. Okay, Mike, you're up.
Well, I'm not in your age. I'm older and I'm wiser. And so what I'm watching now is that we've got the CR, and it's going to get the air traffic controllers. And I worked in the aviation industry, getting back to work. But the ones that walked off the job because they're federal workers and they just walked off the job, they should be fired. That's it. And that could have cost a lot of lives if something happened. And so when we're going to get down to talking about getting these federal workers back to work, because the CR now says we're going to get everybody back to work, right? Does that mean that all these federal workers get a 38-day free vacation paycheck?
Well, yeah, they're going to get paid. All of them get paid. They always get paid. They always get paid. They always get back pay. Yeah.
All right. So you had Burchett and you had Marsha Blackburn.
Oh, you said Burchett? Okay, I thought you said something else.
Well, no.
You say Burchett like that, and it scares us, Mike. You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm asking is that when all these federal workers get back to work with a 38-day free paycheck, and we have, what did the Republicans actually get in this new CR? The SNAP benefits.
They got the same thing. They got the same thing they asked for 40 days ago. It was the Democrat shutdown. It wasn't the Republican shutdown.
No, they didn't. The SNAP benefits continue. All welfare checks continue. And therefore, Obamacare subsidies continue. They'll talk about it.
Yeah, until January 30th.
Until January. And so,
they actually shut down January 1, but whatever.
And then we shut down January. So all these politicians want to do is get through Thanksgiving, December 25th, and then we go through this whole mess.
Hey, buddy. We call that Christmas Day on this show.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do too. And the thing is, Matt, you came up from Alabama, right?
I was in Alabama for a number of years. Yes, sir.
What do you think of Tommy Tuberville?
I was surprised. I was skeptical of Tommy when he ran for Senate. I was worried that it was just a guy that wasn't willing to invest the time and the energy to learn what it is to be, a statesman. I have been pleasantly surprised that Tommy Tuberville has done the work, gotten into the film room, if you will, and learned some of the meat and potato issues. I think Tommy Tuberville will be a good governor.
And now he's running for governor.
That's right.
Why not stay in the Senate and get a cushy job like Marsha Blackburn, Bill Haggerty?
Well, a lot of times.
Let me ask the question.
Okay.
Why is Tommy? Because I watch him on Fox. He's on Fox all the time, and he sounds like a real hardcore conservative, which is good. But he's running for governor down there. But now he's changing his vote on the filibuster. He wants to get rid of the filibuster, which then gives the Democrats back control, 51-49. Why is he doing this?
Well, he'll be replaced by a Republican, Mike, in Alabama.
If we go back to 51-49, do you know what that means?
Well, we have 53 now.
But if getting rid of the filibuster, you need 60 to stop the communists.
Mike, I don't. You're asking me why Tommy Tuberville has decided to run for governor. You'd have to ask Tommy Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville feels like he can affect more change and help more people, perhaps, as governor of the state of Alabama. Clearly, Alabama is positioned to replace Tommy Tuberville, a Republican, with another Republican. So I don't think there's any fear that a Democrat is going to take over that seat.
But he wants to get rid of the filibuster, which means it goes back to 51-49 instead of 60-40.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the knee-jerk reaction there. And look, I've had great conversations with, for example, Chris Hand. Chris Hand is in favor of, and he and I have talked off air because people are coming after me going, Hand sucks, and you need to tell Hand what the filibuster is all about, and they're doing the same thing with Chris. Well, I mean, reasonable people can disagree as to whether or not it's time to eliminate that rule in the United States Senate. Tommy Tuberville's of the position that you need to do so. I'm of the position that you don't. Many senators believe that you should continue that tradition of cloture in terms of open debate and the Senate being a cooling off body as opposed to, more of the heated type of rhetoric that you get out of the House of Representatives. So I don't think Tommy Tuberville moving away from the Senate next year is in any way going to change the nature of the filibuster. The filibuster is still there.
Well, I hope so, because right now, like you said, we're on the edge. I mean, because right now, this so-called CR that's now been passed or going to pass by the Senate, it's going to go back to the House. It has to go to the House. Most people that listen to you don't even know that. It's got to go to the Senate. And then the people say in the media says, it passed the Senate. No, it has to go back to the House. And then they go discuss it. And they go do it. And Speaker Johnson says he's got the votes, hopefully, but let's say 3 or 4 defect. Right now, only
Well, I mean, Mike Johnson will have that vote. I mean, Mike, thank you for the call. I mean, Mike Johnson will have that vote coming up. I suppose Wednesday is the expected vote day. Senate vote on ending the government shutdown is happening at some point later on today in the United States Senate. Then they have a cloture vote. Then they have a vote on the CR, which takes a simple majority. The cloture vote takes 60. And then you move the package to the House because it has changed in some way. I'm not familiar with the ways that it has changed yet. Like Tim Burchett, I want to read that before I would suggest to you that I would support it or not. Tim Burchett said as much, that he wants to read it before he decides to support it. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. If it has changed substantially in some of the inner workings of the legislation that they're not telling us about, then that's a deal changer and potentially a deal breaker. But, Mike, as far as your call goes, I got to tell you, you're a lightning rod on the radio show. You call, every day, really. We let you on maybe 3 days a week. And I got to say, I mean, I know it's a pre-holiday call. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. I mean, today's kind of a holiday. It's the birthday of the United States Marine. I'm going to go ahead and give I'm going to give it 2 Murphys. Maybe. I mean, I just don't feel like you were bringing it. I didn't feel the passion. You weren't as Looney Tunes as you normally are. I mean,
yeah, well, there was no Anvil moment where I
just don't feel like. I mean, I don't feel like there was a lot of oomph behind the grumpiness today, right? I mean, normally there's a lot of.
It's a Monday for everybody. Mike's going to watch the tape. He's going to improve, and I'm sure by Friday he's going to be calling you a communist.
I mean, that's what I feel like, is that we're ramping up to game time. We're ramping up. I felt like that was more of a practice run, right?
A scrimmage.
Yeah, sure. I mean, everybody's on the field. We're working these plays out. We're getting ready for Saturday. But, I just didn't. You're going to have to bring something better on game time, man, because I just didn't feel it.
That was the Oklahoma offensive calls.
Yes, it was.
I don't know that I would have gone there, but I think we all get the picture. I think we all figured it out. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. Matt, I do like 6442 says, I do like your idea of being based on the 60 present senators. I believe you mentioned that a week or so back. No, it's long been my idea of how to change this. Let me just go over it real quick for y'all. So I'm not against altering the rules of the filibuster. I would suggest that the filibuster has served us well. Since the early 1800s, it was in place. It did not change until the early 1900s when a cloture vote was put into place. Before then, you had to stand there and debate on the floor of the United States Senate until the cows came home. And as long as you debated, as long as you held the floor, you had the ability to hold up legislation in the United States Senate. One guy. Well, now you have 60 senators that can change and cloture a filibuster. But as the rules were changed in 1975, they changed them from 67 to 60 members, but they changed it to members voting, or members sworn is what I call it, meaning however many members have been sworn in to be United States senators, you base the 3/5 off of that. And if it's 100, that vote is 60. If it's 90, let's say, somehow you have 10 seats that are open, well, then the 3/5 changes, consistent with the number of members sworn. What I have said is that you need to base that 3/5 vote for cloture on members present. Present. Now, that doesn't mean that they absolutely have to be in the body at every given second, but they do have to be, at the Capitol, in town. Sadly, what you have now, you have members threatening a filibuster, and then they get on a plane and they go home. And they don't filibuster. Well, it makes the filibuster way too easy. So I do think there's a middle ground between eliminating it altogether, which some reasonable people have suggested, and I understand the suggestion. And, like, for example, Hand and I have talked about this, and Hand's point, and it's not lost on me, is that the Democrats are going to the Democrats don't care about the rules. Well, I get that, but we're not the Democrats. I'm not team anything, but I do care about the rules, and I do care about a minority within the body having the ability to stop the rule of the mob, which is why I think the filibuster has value. 23 after the hour. Supertalk 99.7 WTN. 615-737-9986. Yes, sir, Mr. Ken Weaver. That's coming up in, less than 2 minutes or so. Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Joshua says, Matt, it's cold outside, like 30 degrees. That's why you didn't bring it. Testosterone is all shoveled up. Hey, easy now. I said Mike didn't bring it. Now, I feel like I'm bringing the thunder. I'm bringing the heat. And the heat is what I feel, not what you feel. It's not your real feels. It's my real feels. Okay? So if the just tell me what the temperature is. That's all. That's all. Don't get me started on it again. I get worked up about it. Well, the thermometer says that it's 32, but the way you feel about it, don't tell me the way I feel about it. Just tell me is it windy? Well, then I'll figure the rest out.
Is it windy?
I mean, the real feels. And what they're about to do is what Jackson has suggested, and that pisses me off even more. They're about to just forget the temperature, forget the scientific measurement of how cold it is outside. They're just going to go straight to, it feels 22. Well, what's the thermometer say, 38? Well,
but it feels like, why do you care if it's 38?
Because that's the temperature.
But it doesn't feel like 38.
Tell me,
air temperature is lower.
What if I told you it feels like it's 38 to me?
Then I tell you you're wrong. It's cold.
You're telling me that I'm wrong telling you what it feels like to me?
Yes.
Do you want me to come at you? Is that what you're doing? Are you trying to get me in there all on you? I'm gonna get on you during Ken Weaver's newscast.
Pause.
Look here, fellas. I'm looking at the wind speed index.
Oh, boy.
Just kidding.
The wind speed index.
Ken, what's it say?
Well, the wind's blowing at 14 miles an hour, but it feels like it's blowing at 28.
It feels like 35.
Yeah, that's what it said. Mm-hmm. Now we've talked, and I can't get to Lori. Lori, I'll get to you in a minute. Missy, I'll get to you as well, but it's time for the news on Supertalk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Matt Murphy, Supertalk 99.7 WTN, and I'm honored as always to be joined once again on the program by Senator Marsha Blackburn, and a lot of activity, as many of you have heard, and as we've discussed in Washington, D.C. regarding the shutdown. And without further ado, let's let the Senator tell us where we are in all of this. Senator, first and foremost, good afternoon, and it looks like some good news on Capitol Hill.
Well, we had progress, and so I think we have Democrats who have finally decided after 40 days of pain that they are agreeing to what was the Republicans' original offer, which is a clean, bipartisan bill to reopen the federal government. And we know that we've got to get through this cloture vote and then on to final passage. And the goal is to get this finished today and back to the House so that they can take it up and we can get the government reopened.
And just for those who perhaps haven't been paying attention to the particulars you mentioned, I mean, this was the original offer by Senate Republicans. They recognized that the Democrats could quag the works up with a continuing resolution, as they decided to do. They offered to give them a fair opportunity to make their case on a continuation of some of the subsidy offered in Obamacare after the continuing resolution, and they refused to do it. And sadly, you know, Americans and here in the state of Tennessee, Tennesseans are suffering as a result. I'm sad that that's the case, but that's where we are. But this does extend the CR beyond the new year. Am I correct, or would it?
You're correct. It extends it to January 31st. And the point with that is we want to get off the Biden budget numbers and onto the Republican budget, the Trump numbers, and then begin to work on getting this out of control, plussed up spending that took place during COVID and under Joe Biden, begin to pare that back. So the offer, as you said, originally was a clean bipartisan CR, and then after we got the government open, then they could have a vote on these enhanced Biden COVID credit subsidies. Subsidies don't go away. It is only the Biden COVID credit that is going away. And Matt, what they're trying to do is expand Obamacare. They've always said Obamacare was a step on the way to government-run health care. So they're trying to take another giant step toward government-controlled health care, and Republicans have said absolutely not. So finally, 8 Democrats said enough of this. We're going with the Republicans' offer, and we got that motion to proceed vote at 60 last night. That broke the filibuster, and we'll move to the cloture and then final passage today.
You know, when I talk to many of my listeners, Senator, you know, they want to get to a place where we see 12 separate appropriation bills, where we see what is known in your world as regular order. I know you've not seen that in a long, long time. I don't know the last time that we've seen separate appropriations bills in Washington, D.C., but can you comfort us that that's the ultimate goal? I mean, the idea is to get this huge ship of state, the overspending that existed long before Trump was in office in his second term, obviously, and Biden, as you mentioned, exploded that in the aftermath of COVID. The idea is to get all of this turned around, right?
Yes, it is. And the bill, the CR, will be accompanied by a bipartisan bill that moves 3 of those funding bills forward. We've already passed them off the floor of the Senate. So you're going to have Ledge Branch, Agapropes, and Milcon VA, which travels as one bill. All of those are signed off on. Those are now going to the House so they can be passed and sent to the president's desk. Then immediately we will begin to take up the other appropriations bills. We have those ready to go. They are all out of committee. They are all ready for consideration on the floor. That is a very good thing. And doing that, Matt, gets us off the Biden budget and onto a Republican budget, which is a lower number. All of these bills that are moving forward, we're working with lower numbers than what previously had been in those appropriations bills.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, our guest this afternoon, talking about the looming cloture vote. And, you know, as we speak, that might have already happened. As Marsha and I are talking right now, it's just after 2 o'clock Central Time. So I just want to make clear that things are moving so quickly in D.C. right now. It's hard to say that about the United States Senate sometimes, Senator, but they are moving quickly today. When it comes to health care, do you see that as a debate that's going to define the early portion of 2026? It feels to me as if Democrats want to double down on that which is already not working, which is Obamacare. And the Republicans want to pull back on it and try a different, more free market, more competitive approach. I feel like that debate is going to dominate the early part of 2026. Am I wrong?
No, you're right about that. And of course, just as you and I have talked, President Trump is sending power and authority on things, whether it's energy or education or health care or benefits, all of that is going back to the states. And indeed, part of that was done in the big, beautiful bill. Part of it is being done now, and you're going to see more of health care and delivery of health care, how you have access to affordable health care. That is landing with the states. Tennessee is a great leader in healthcare innovation, and Finance Committee is going to be taking that up and looking at health savings accounts across state line purchase of health insurance, having the subsidy for those individuals that need a subsidy because they cannot afford to purchase health insurance, people up to 400% of poverty. That subsidy would go directly to the individual. And you know, Matt, they might want to have a health savings account and then buy a catastrophic care policy and be able to take that money that they're not spending on health care and build a nest egg so they can have that if indeed they need it for health care in the future. The point is that right now the subsidy the Democrats are pushing forward, every penny of that Obamacare subsidy goes to the insurance companies. And it doesn't go to the individual. And Obamacare is too expensive to afford. So our Democrat colleagues are fighting to get more subsidy to the insurance company. And when I talk to Tennesseans, many of them are very frustrated with the product on the Obamacare exchange because it's too expensive to afford without a subsidy. And then they have that insurance card, they have access to the queue, but it's like I've heard from some moms, when their child needs a specialist, that specialist might be an hour and a half or 2 hours away. It's not something that is readily accessible to them. And we want individuals to have access to affordable health care and access to a health care that they are going to be able to use.
Senator, before we get too far away from the shutdown and the cloture vote that's impending, I did want to ask you about the filibuster and the future of the filibuster. I support the continuation of the filibuster. We've talked about it on my radio show. I understand that there's a debate that's going on in Washington, D.C., and even the President of the United States weighed in on it. Where are you on this, and are you pleased that the leadership, and yourself included, in the Republican Party in the Senate held the line? And, you know, obviously there was some pain that had to be endured because of the Democrat shutdown as a result of holding the line, but kept the filibuster intact. Are you happy that happened?
I think that as we look at where we are today, it is gratifying to see that Republicans stuck together. They stuck together on this. And what you do not see is a continuation of these Obamacare subsidies. Mm-hmm. You do not see a caving in to Democrat demands. The Democrats have demanded that the filibuster be broken so they can add D.C., Puerto Rico, and Guam as states. That would give you 6 new senators. They also want to pack the Supreme Court. Those are things that conservatives are not for. So therefore, by sticking together through this, we've averted expanding or furthering this lurch toward government-controlled health care, and we have made certain that we are not putting in place a mechanism that the Democrats are going to use to try to add new states, add new senators, pack the Supreme Court, federalize elections, all things that they have said they wanted to do.
Well, and I know you've got to get out of here in the next couple of minutes, and I promise to get you out of here, but I do want to ask about the piece that you wrote recently. I think it was in the New York Post that I read about it regarding AI. You and I have talked about this in the past. I talked to our mutual friend Robbie Starbuck about some of the allegations being made up about him on AI. And you discovered that there were allegations being made up about you, Senator Marsha Blackburn, on artificial intelligence platforms. What can you do about it?
Yes, and I sent a letter to Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Google. And of course, Gemma, which is on their AI studio, they took that down, did it very quietly on a Friday evening, and just put an, oh, by the way, post out about it. And Gemma is still available to developers. And what I'm doing now, I've gone back to Pichai and Google, and we're trying to have them take down the Gemini and Gemma until they clean this up. Because, Matt, what we found was these AI platforms, and so much of the chatbots, they are just so filled with such woke ideology. And then they began to, as the VP of Google said, they hallucinate and they make up all these falsehoods. Well, if people are going to use AI to do research and look for information, for heaven's sakes, it needs to be factual. And the way these large language models are being trained is something that is problematic. So, yes, we are monitoring this. Yes, I am working with David Sachs with the White House. I spent about 45 minutes recently with David Sachs and with the president working on this issue. We're looking at what the guardrails should be. I said there are 3 groups we have to make certain are protected as we look at AI and we look at innovation. And of course, if you're talking about healthcare, you're talking about logistics, advanced manufacturing, delivery of services, AI, absolutely. You have the ability to use that. No fakes is a bill we have that would protect creators and COSA for kids. But yes, you have to protect your children, your creators, and conservatives. Mm-hmm. And we've got to have legislation that puts those guardrails in place.
Well, we look forward to the continuing conversation on that and so many other matters. Thank you for giving us an update from Capitol Hill, Senator. We appreciate your leadership up there, and we look forward to the next conversation very soon.
You got it. Take care.
All right.
Bye now.
Take care, Marsha. Bye-bye.
Metro Police say cameras are everywhere, and they're going to use them to identify the suspect from this morning's road rage shooting downtown. We'll tell you about that more at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You guys see where the roof ring is in on the new stadium? That's exciting.
The what?
The roof ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's just the upper level where all of the rest of the translucent roof will attach to the ring on the top. So it's squared off on the bottom, but the top is a circular opening. And the roof ring is done, everybody.
Is that going to guarantee us at least 8 wins?
No. Gonna need better players for that, Ken.
Are we at that point of the season where we're rooting for – I mean – We're rooting for the Jets. They won. Congratulations to the Jets.
It's an interesting conversation to where
we're rooting for losses.
If you're the Titans, unless you rattle off 9 straight.
That's tall order.
Or 8 straight.
It's never happening.
No.
So what is best?
The best thing for the overall health of the long-term franchise, in my personal opinion.
Yes, sir.
You don't root for losses, do you?
What else you playing for?
I mean,
I'm rooting for development from Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
sir.
the other receivers, Chimere Dike, Alec Manor.
Yeah.
Gunnar Helm.
Easy for you to say. What was that one fellow's name?
Chimere Dike.
Oh. And yes, Marsha Blackburn said that the Senate stuck together. She said stuck. I mean, we forgive her that. Do you hear that?
Yeah, she's probably busy today.
She said stuck. It's okay. Chris says hire Jackson to be the Gatorade boy. Man, Chris wants you out of here, buddy. How about that? They'd probably pay better at the Gatorade stand, to be honest.
You know, the Titans could beat the Jaguars.
No, they can't. Jags are going to be a playoff team.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought they were stinking.
The only 2 wins I see on the schedule, potential wins, are the Saints and the Browns.
I think we can beat those Chiefs. Don't y'all?
That is going to be biblical.
Halfway home on the Murphy Show.